I'm Ryan Thomas.
And I'm Steve Thomas.
On Not Your Father's Fundraising Podcast, in addition to the deep dive on the main topic we do every week, we want to give you a couple of practical, try this right now fundraising suggestions that will improve your donor communication, the relationships you have with donors, and more importantly, they'll increase your fundraising results. This week, try doing quality control on your projects to avoid an HBO Max email situation.
Oh, that's interesting. I talk about how you should look up and find and have a conversation with the newest person in your organization. Here's what that plays out at. Assuming you're not in a one-person shop, okay? So if you've got multiple people in the nonprofit that you serve, locate the person who has been there the least amount of time, who has zero seniority.
Who's the last one in the door?
Last one in the door.
And then fire them.
No.
That's something you should be doing if you're not already.
Yeah. So we're looking for the intern. We're looking for someone who's just hired. And the part that occurred to me was I was on the phone with somebody who was weirdly enough kind of checking out to see if we might be a good fit to serve them, and we were just kind of doing the stuff you chat about, and we got through the call, and then I said, "Hey, you got this thing on your website?" Because I had done my due diligence ahead of the time, I could learn about them, and so I was like, "I don't understand what this is about." And the person I was talking to is brand new in her job. And she said, "I've been telling people, nobody knows what that is."
Oh my goodness.
And she said, "But the CEO, he thinks everybody understands what that's about." And so
Curse of the insider.
But the easy way around that, now you have to understand, you're going to wade through probably a lot of stuff that's not helpful from someone who's brand new, because often someone who's brand new doesn't understand enough to be really helpful. Because as the old guy, I'm just got to say, sometimes that's not helpful. But if you can get one insight that just helps you with the curse of the insider, that is back to, you can't read the label on the jar you're in. Before someone has been in the jar a long time in your organization, get them to tell you what they see, what language they don't understand, what are some of the problems.
And you can also apply this to the rest of your internal. Why do we do it this way?
Exactly.
Why is this process this way? Empower your people to ask questions, but also we tell them, ask all the questions, evaluate our processes when you're new. But if we tell you we just got to do it that way, don't keep poking.
Yeah. If Steve says we got to do it that way, then just fold up.
More if Chris says that. But whatever. Mine does carry on a theme.
Wow.
So mine is, even if you are a one-person shop,
okay, good,
you can do this because you probably have a friend.
Hopefully. If not, it's sad.
If not, email podcast at Winicity. We'll help you out. We'll be your friend. We'll help you out. The same person shouldn't be proofing or doing quality control on your emails.
Or anything.
Yeah, as who writes it.
Yeah. And that is so hard when you're all by yourself.
Yep. Or when you're small.
Yeah.
Reason being, our brain knows the intention. If I wrote this and I'm rereading it and I'm proofing it before it hits inboxes, my brain knows what I wanted that to say. And to save time, it just fills it in for me. And I look at that. Yep. Oh, wow. I spelled everything correctly. This is awesome. Send 3-4 spelling errors.
You need Clippy to pop up and go, yeah.
It looks like you're trying to send an email. Would you like some help with that? But we've always known that, and we routinely kind of structure things to make sure we're always in that boat to where we have different people doing that. But the HBO Max email got my attention, and oh yeah, you're not an HBO Max subscriber.
No.
So on Thursday evening, I was up in my wife's office, and she had her phone and says, "Look at this email." And it was an email from HBO Max that said, the subject line was, I think, integration test.
Oh, I read about this.
And the body, by the time you're listening to this, you know about the HBO Max email, but the body
like had one line.
The body said, "This is the template we'll use when we're integrating with other content." And that was the entire email that went out to
maybe thousands,
hundreds of thousands. Whoever subscribes to HBO Max got that email.
I read about that.
And I had her save it because as a reminder to us, and later this week I'm sending it to our team, just to remind that even the biggest companies with the biggest budgets, more people to throw at any task,
that was the one they blamed on the intern too, right?
But it sounds like, and I haven't followed it as closely because again, after Thursday I went down the F1 rabbit hole for the weekend. It didn't sound like they tossed him out to dry. They just said the intern did it.
Yeah.
But then they're
that
like, hey, it's
meme
okay.
Fodder. I mean, they rolled with it.
And everybody responded saying, hey, dear intern, I did this. And here's what I did. But if you had someone else looking at that email before it went, they'd have caught that.
Yeah, somebody punched the button.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. But
I love that.
Don't have the same person review and create.
Disney Plus would never do that.
No, they wouldn't. Especially not with Group Watch. They probably use that Group Watch as a way to edit the emails. Okay, everybody use Group Watch. Let's review.
We're gonna group QC.
We're gonna review the October email number 3. we're pitching Boba Fett.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Not Your Father's Fundraising Podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate that effort. Tune back in next week for another fresh episode of Not Your Father's Fundraising Podcast.